How will the dedicated freight corridors benefit Indian Railways and the economy? Let's find out. Indian Railways is executing the ambitious dedicated freight corridor project with an aim to increase the modal share of railways in overall freight traffic and also to enhance revenue in a major way. Chatting up with us on the latest status of the project and how it can be a game changer for Indian Railways and the economy is Nanduri Srinivas of Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation. Welcome to TOI Business Bytes, sir. So my first question to you is that what is the status of the Dedicated Freight Corridor project, both in terms of Eastern and Western Dedicated Freight Corridor, and are there any future branches in works?
Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor, right from Sonnagar to Khurja to Dadri, is fully functional.
Okay.
About 900 kilometers. Khurja to Ludhiana side, we have operated in patches. Khurja to Khatoli. Again from Ludhiana side to up to Sarai Banjara, we are operating in patches.
Okay.
There are trial trains running. We will be fully completing the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor hopefully by September, and the entire Eastern Freight Corridor will be fully operational by December.
Okay.
And as far as Western Dedicated Freight Corridor is concerned, right from there Dadri to Sanand, that is nearer to Ahmedabad, is operational. In fact, the most difficult task of going through Aravali Hills, everything has been completed. We have opened that section on trial basis and trains are running. Some pending works are going on. That side, from Sanand to Mumbai, we have again operated a patch, that is Golwad to Bestan. We are operating. Again, we will be hopefully completing by December up to Mumbai. Just short of Mumbai, about 100 kilometers.
Okay.
That patch will be going into next year.
Okay.
So, as far as we are seeing, by next year, the entire Eastern and Western Dedicated Freight Corridors will be fully functional.
Okay.
This is the status. For other DPRs, other freight corridors, their DPRs are under progress. Shortly, we will be submitting it to the government for approval, and then the decision will be taken by the government about their construction.
Okay, but when do you see the full benefits of the dedicated freight corridor projects, Eastern and Western, finally kicking in, full benefits? And is there a particular percentage of overall freight traffic movement in the country that Railways is looking to target with DFCs?
Look, benefits of dedicated freight corridor have already started being felt by the Indian Railways and by the customers.
Right.
If you look at it, the coal traffic which is predominant in Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor has already witnessed a quick movement. For example, Eastern powerhouses, the Eastern coal fields to the powerhouses in North, it used to take about 4 days. Now it is taking 1.5 days. So there is a significant reduction already with the way the speed with which the coal rakes are moving.
Right.
On an average, the coal rakes movement speed is about 60 kilometers per hour. This is a significant difference. Second, box and empties after unloading used to take about 40 hours to go. They are going in less than 24 hours.
Right.
So this is the turnaround effect which is very significant. Indian Railways will not face wagon crunch in the crucial period, and the turnaround and the reach with which the coal powerhouses are going to get it is very fast. In western side, EXIM containers from ports to NCR and NCR to ports has already witnessed a quick movement. The agility I can only describe has brought down the wagon turnaround in fact it has improved significantly.
Right.
It used to take almost 72 hours from NCR to the western ports of Mundra, Kandla. It is now going in less than 30 hours. So that is the significant reduction of the transit time.
Right.
So this transit time reduction is going to bring in an accelerated effect in the supply chain movement.
Right.
That is the multiplier effect already felt. The moment JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, is also connected next year, we will find a significant jump in the entire traffic in the western sector.
Right.
And eastern sector, already we have seen the benefit. Example, you can see that last year you have not faced the coal crisis.
Right.
It's because of the accelerated movement in DFC.
Right. So when you're talking about accelerated movements, what is the change in the average speed of trains vis-a-vis normal railway lines where freight moves and the dedicated freight corridor? And are there any new commodities that you're looking to now target because we have dedicated lines for freight movement?
Look, in the normal Indian railway lines, there is always a mix-up with passenger trains, and the preference there has to be given to the people.
Right.
So the average speed that is recorded for coal trains or any other goods trains has not been more than 20-25 kilometers per hour.
Right.
In dedicated freight corridor, by virtue of the focus on the freight and the through run which is possible, the biggest redeeming feature of dedicated freight corridor is the focused approach. We don't have level crossing gates, so there is no restriction on the movement. Unhindered movement and sustained long fast movement
Right.
is possible. So we are recording speeds of almost 60 kilometers per hour on
Right.
either side. So this is possible, and this movement has helped the freight movement, and releasing the capacities on Indian railways has also helped Indian railways run the passenger trains better.
Right.
So overall, the train movements will become speeded up, and they will be able to introduce further some more passenger trains.
Right.
That's another benefit. Now, you have asked about new commodities. Look, non-conventional and freight is what we are targeting. Traditionally, Indian Railway is only taking bulk cargo and sizable cargo. So these things are like particularly the light cargo, particularly the machine parts and some high value cargo has been escaping Indian Railways network.
Right.
We are now targeting that. So one particular innovative practice which we have brought in is the trucks on train. You call it RORO, roll on, roll off. We have now entered into an MOU with Amul, and milk tankers are now getting onto our wagons and coming to Delhi area. They used to come by road for 30 hours. They are coming within 12 to 15 hours.
Right.
So that is half of the transit time which they are encountering. Cost reduction is the another feature. So we see that such trucks will be coming in. That is one way. Second is by taking the small cargo and aggregating that, we will be capturing the commodities which have hitherto slipped out of railway network. They will be taken back. Some of the e-commerce firms we are entering into MOU. Some of the logistics parts, this third-party logistics players, they are entering into MOU. So these will be, these high-value cargo, light cargo will be accumulated and moved through parcel trains specially run for them.
Right.
This is what we are targeting. So we hope the National Rail Plan objective of increasing the modal share for Indian Railways will be achieved through DFC's innovative ways of attracting new cargo, non-conventional cargo.
Okay. And what about private sector participation, both in terms of private freight terminals and private trains on the dedicated freight corridor?
See, Indian Railway has already got schemes of private train operators. See, container train operators are already there. Indian Railway does that hauling, but there are already train operators available. They will get more filling. They are coming out with some terminals on DFC. These are privately operated terminals. DFC is also establishing Gati Shakti cargo terminals. They are coming up like, mushrooming rate. They are coming up.
Right.
We are opening all terminals of ours, all stations of ours as economic activity centers. So there is huge demand coming up. We are planning in a very focused way about facilities to be created, what sort of commodities to be targeted. So that will come through. By the end of this year, you will see so many terminals by the private players operating under Gati Shakti policy. Second, we have also given permission for private freight terminals to be established. We got requests for private freight terminals, that is, land is going to be theirs, connectivity will be theirs. So that is being done. It will come up in the next 1 year.
Okay.
Third part is multimodal logistics parks, partly established by DFC and partly by NICDC and other organizations. NICDC is establishing at Dadri as well as at Nangal Chaudhary in Haryana. these two places. So they are getting connected with us. We are establishing at Kanpur, at Pritla and at other places. These will help in catching additional traffic which is going to be mobilized. Because ultimately mobilization of additional traffic requires terminals. So that is what is the concentration now.
Right.
Nearing the completion of the project, we have focused on establishing these terminals and developing them. So they will be with ultra modern facilities. Modern facilities will come by private participation. This private participation we are looking at bringing in additional technology.
Right.
So already with IASC collaboration, we have put one machine vision inspection system for the safety of train running. Similar things are going to come up. So train management as well as monitoring, safety plus the business development, these are all going to be through private and public participation, which is going to be a huge benefit for the country as it is.
Okay, but in terms of end-to-end logistics, cost, transportation cost, and vis-a-vis even roadways, from which we are obviously with dedicated freight corridors actively looking to get a modal share, increase our modal share. So how is the end-to-end logistics cost, transportation cost going to be a beneficial, for railways?
It is not exactly for railways. You look at the customer point. See, when you are able to take certain products from one point to the other point, it is the time element which is matters. The time element is now being reduced to half.
Right.
That increases the value chain, value system. Now, if a person who is in the hinterland is supposed to maintain certain inventory levels, by virtue of his association with DFC, he can reduce his inventory levels almost to 1/3.
Okay.
Now, I can give you an example. A powerhouse in hinterland which is supposed to maintain a 25 days of stock mandatorily, by association with DFC, they are able to reduce it to 7 days. So, almost a 20-day operational dead capital, which can amount to about 250 crores, can be removed. That is released into the system. That is the reduction in the logistics cost for the firm.
Right.
Now that is not counted. If you look at it, everybody talks about logistics cost means freight reduction curve. That is not the idea. Idea is you increase the value proposition, thereby the total cost comes down. You are able to do 2 trips, 3 trips more, and that increases your efficiency of earning.
Right.
So by increasing the efficiencies, by reducing your operational cost which is required, you end up reducing your overall logistics cost. Now this sort of DFC is required for the overall country's development.
Right.
If you look at it, movement of trains across Mughal Sarai to Delhi, almost about 80 goods trains have to move. If they are all diverted onto DFC, the existing tracks will be free for running passenger trains. There will be more number of passenger trains which will run more and efficiently.
Right.
Similarly, these trains will get dedicated runs. They will be able to reach faster.
Right. So there are allied benefits on all branches.
Yes. Multiplier effect is seen in the
effect.
economy.